and welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy. I figured I'd sit down for just a few minutes and talk a little bit about my week 1 on Triple B and E, what I've learned, how I'm feeling, did I lose any weight, all those fun things. All right, so what did I learn? I learned that cream is definitely something that I quote unquote crave. I really desire it in my coffee. Coffee is just not the same without it, although I have figured out a system that works. Once I'm off Triple B and E, I am definitely going to try to get back to my keto brains. I also want to try some other non-dairy types of coffee creamers. So if you have any suggestions for those, I'd love to hear them down below. That's one of my biggest takeaways. 2, I feel like I haven't been eating enough. I tracked a couple of days and you all saw those, that tracking in those couple of days. I should be right on target. Things should just be right about where they are. I'm not feeling hungry, but the volume of the food sometimes seems low. And I think that's more of a mental issue than anything else. So I need to work on that. One other thing that I've really noticed in the past week is the amount of joint pain in my fingers is reducing again. I had a lot of problems in the past. I'm pretty sure I have an autoimmune. My mom has an autoimmune. Doesn't really know which one. It's just been kind of told that it's autoimmune. My symptoms are the exact same as hers. They've presented around the same time that hers started presenting. And even though my doctor keeps telling me I just need to lose weight and then my hands will stop hurting, I've heard that for almost 20 years now. Being keto really does help. Sometimes I do still have some pain. I think that dairy has been my biggest issue recently because they are feeling much better. Today they're a little bit sore, but I'm just kind of icky all over today. It's kind of cloudy and overcast. It could be a weather issue. I don't think I'll ever be 100% pain-free, but I do like to live the majority of my life without a whole lot of pain. So that is beneficial, just knowing that I can move my fingers, move my hands. I use them so much, so I want to take care of them as best as I can. They're important for the job that I actually do. Plus, I love to create things. So spinning, weaving, knitting, crocheting, all that kind of stuff is can be tough on your hands. So I do all kinds of stretches and take care of them the best I can to keep them going. So I'm sure the biggest thing everybody wants to know is, did I lose weight in week 1 of Triple B and E? I did not. I weigh exactly the same as I weighed last Sunday, this Sunday. Yeah, I'm not entirely disappointed, but I also am dealing with feelings of frustration. I'm not totally frustrated, but I'm a little bit frustrated because I was really hoping that this would change things around and I'd start a weight loss. And it probably still will. To not gain any is fantastic as well and something to be proud of. But it is disappointing when you first look at the scale and you're hoping that you lost some weight and to find out that you didn't. You're the exact same weight down to the ounce that you were last Sunday. But that does mean that I didn't gain any either. And around the beginning of August, I was at my lowest weight. I was at 209 pounds. I have steadily, over the past 4 months, gained about 10 to 12, depending on which scale I'm on. So when I weighed last Sunday, I was 220.7. When I got on the scale this morning for the 3rd time, just because you're not supposed to weigh as soon as you get out of bed, and I did that. And then I went and I was like, why did I do that? So I went and I weighed again. I did 2 right in a row because I was just like, wait, that doesn't seem right. And then I went, you just got out of bed. You need to give your body some time to equalize and all that kind of stuff. So I waited and I weighed myself just about 30 minutes or so ago. And I am the exact same weight I was last Sunday, which was about the same time of day that I weighed. So I'm going to call that is accurate and move on from there. So hopefully this week I will start to lose and get back towards my goal of losing more weight. I'm not unhappy where I'm at, but I'm at the limit where I definitely have to turn things around. I've talked about this before and I'm working on it. It's a struggle. It's definitely hard. Keto treats, like keto desserts and stuff, have been somewhat of an issue, less of an issue than dairy. I love dairy. I love cheese. I love cream cheese. I love cream in my coffee. So all those things I think have been the biggest trigger, which is why I really wanted to do triple BBBE, because it eliminates that. And I think that that is the one thing that I need to eliminate. I'll try to add some cheese maybe back in, but we'll see how I feel in 30 days. I don't know. I may have to say that I need to go entirely dairy-free, which will make me a little bit sad, because that's going to say that I can't have keto chow unless it's keto chow core, and I really don't want that to happen. So I'm going to experiment with dairy in a few ways once I'm done with triple BBBE. I want to do some keto chow, of course. I want to do some cheese, but I think unless I'm cooking, heavy cream has to go. It cannot come back in my coffee. Because if it's not in my coffee, I don't eat dairy every day. It's 2, maybe 3 times a week, sometimes no times a week. So I think that that is going to be a good plan moving forward, is just get the cream out of the coffee and use alternative forms of creaminess for that, instead of relying on the cream, and see if I can't get my dairy consumption reduced to a point where it doesn't cause joint pain. I can still enjoy it occasionally and I can move on. I know for ultimate health, the best thing would just be cut it out personally or entirely and not go back. That doesn't seem sustainable to me. So I want to find stuff that is sustainable for me, what works for me. And, you know, I do enjoy an occasional keto dessert, like a cheesecake. Not very often, but a good cheesecake you can't say no to. And I love my keto chow, especially as a creamy. In the summer more than anything, because that's my go-to dinner in the summer after working outside all day in the heat. There's nothing better than sitting down with an ice cold creamy, knowing that you're actually nourishing your body and doing something healthy for your body, and enjoying something cold and delicious, which feels fantastic after a super hot Florida day working in the sun. So I've got to find that balance. I think that's going to take some time, but it's worth it. I know in the past video I said I was going to try to do triple BBBE for 90 days. I think if I try for 90 days, I'm going to crash and burn. I think I can do it for 30. 30 seems doable. I'll reevaluate as I get closer to the 30. Do I want to actually go longer or not? We're just going to take this a week by week thing. I am definitely committing to that 30 days though, but I don't see it happening beyond 30 days, just because I'm already starting to get a little bit bored with food. And I know that's like a meal prep thing. If I had the budget and I could eat a steak every day, I would be quite content. But I don't have steak everyday budget. I have steak maybe once a week budget, and sometimes that's pushing it too. But I do have some pot roast, which I do enjoy, some chuck roast. I've got plenty of ground beef. I like eggs. I like doing meatballs. I will probably make more of that this week, maybe. We'll see. I've eaten a lot of meatballs and I'm already feeling bored. But also the idea of eating ground beef right now doesn't sound super exciting either. I do have a brisket in the freezer, but I'm not gonna have time to cook it this week, so it's gonna have to wait. So we'll see what I can come up with and see if I can get some interesting things to keep me motivated toward eating it. And it's really not that I'm bored of the foods. I mean, I am, but for me, it comes that I'm restricting things that I feel are like too much. Like, how do I explain this? I'm very much a creature of habit. I could eat BBBE all day, every day for the rest of my life if I didn't call it BBBE and if I didn't get a set of rules that needed to be followed, and if I could just decide that I wanted chicken wings every once in a while, or I wanted something else every once in a while, I could do it, because pretty much that's all I do is eat beef, butter, bacon, eggs. That is the core of my diet every single day. I do occasionally eat some chicken wings. I do occasionally eat some fish. Very, very rarely. I'm not a huge fish person. I like tuna. I used to like salmon. I've got some canned salmon that I need to try, but it's not my favorite. I love shrimp. I enjoy lobster. I never eat it. It's expensive. So it's very difficult for me to like put a set of rules on something, follow it by that set of rules, and then not get bored. I feel like I'm being cheated out of something. When in actuality, I'm really not being cheated out of anything. I'm eating the same foods I eat all the time anyway. It just feels more restricted because I allow myself to 1 cup of coffee, or generally that's what I do anyway. But some days you want a 2nd cup or a 3rd cup or something like that. So, or you want some chicken wings. So that's usually what I allow as my variety. So I'm feeling a little bit restricted right now, which is not a bad thing, but I know if I try to push too far, I am going to crash and burn. So I'm going to try to avoid that. All right, well, that's pretty much me rambling on about how week 1 has gone. Week 2 is, I will also show you day 8 of what I eat today in this video. But we're on to week 2. Week 2 is going to be a really busy week for me. I have a tea cart that I've got to finish, which you'll see in a separate video. I've got to finish puppy proofing the house because we leave next Sunday to go and pick up Ghost. And then we come home with him next Monday. We'll pick him up first thing Monday morning and drive all the way back to Florida. And I'm on leave at that point. So I've got 4 days of work this week and things just to get done. Little things, not big things, but still enough that they just need to get done and be settled before I leave to go and pick up Ghost. All right, well, it is now, let's see, about 8:30. This is about the time that I start getting hungry. I have not had coffee yet, so I might make some coffee and drink a cup of coffee and see if that like tides my hunger over. I normally eat my lunch between 9:30 and 10, so this is pretty on par for when my stomach starts telling me, yeah, it's kind of time to eat. But I'm also feeling like I don't necessarily have to eat. I just kind of almost want to eat. So hopefully coffee will help and I'll eat. I want to try to eat a little bit later, but I don't know that that's going to happen because the more I talk, the more hungry I'm feeling, and bacon and eggs sound fantastic right now. So that might be the sign that I actually truly am hungry, and I will go and make some breakfast shortly. All right. Well, I will continue on with my day and show you what I actually eat today. We'll chat again shortly. Well, it's 9:30 and I'm getting ready to eat my breakfast. You'll have just seen a clip of me making my breakfast. I decided to get a little bit creative. Today may end up being an OMAD because this is actually, now that I'm looking at it, a lot of food. And I don't know if I can eat it all, or if I do eat it all, it's probably gonna fill me up for a really long time, which is not a bad thing. I'm okay with doing an OMAD occasionally. So let me show you what my breakfast looks like now that's in a bowl. So there you have it. That's my breakfast. It's 4 eggs, some leftover roast beef, and about 4 slices of bacon. So I'm going to go sit down and enjoy that and my cup of coffee over there. And then I'm going to get to work on the things that I actually need to get done today. It is still Sunday. It's a little after 7 o'clock and I was hungry. We had to run some errands, so I went out and I got some carne piccata because it sounded delicious. And I just finished cooking that up. All I have on here is some chili lime salt. So that is going to complete day 8 of beef, butter, bacon, and egg. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe.